So this is our new chart. So what do? We actually list down the things that approach how we approach the markets. So first of all, we mark out our we mark out our psychological level. Then the next thing is to connect trend lines. Then we look at our demand and supply zones. Demand and supply zone. Then after demand and supply zones, we look for chart patterns. After chart patterns, what do you looking for? Chart patterns, candle, stick, confirmations, candlestick confirmation. Then we put this one on repeat on the lower time frames. So put this on the lower time frame. So these are our steps. So first of all, what do you do first? You look out you mark out the so let's start from 400. There's a 1400 1400 and the next 500 pips is, so we have within this so after every 500 pips there's a reaction based on the data I've collected. So there's a reaction. So you see something like this. So between this is 500 pips. So every 500 pips there reaction, 500 pips reaction, 500 pips reaction. So let's check it out. So 500 pips here. I'm coming. Let me adjust it all. So we have 500 pips. Yeah. Sorry. 1700. Then we have this. Okay, so this is so if you look at so first of all, when you look at this zone, so you see that there was a touch here. After this touch, then price bounced off and came to touch the 1400 again. So the same thing applies to this side. So you don't actually get a touch accurately. You don't actually get a touch, but to give you like where it's likely to bounce off. Do you get me? So you can see a bounce off here and a bounce off here, and you can see the same thing happening here. You get me? So this gave you a massive move and after that came closer to this region and bounce off again. So look at this one too. Bounce off. So bear in mind, this is just the daily time frame. So in the 4-hour you could have seen in much clearer and catch some big moves. Do you get me? Yeah. So for instance, you see there's a bounce off here. Alright, so Whilst you are done marking out the side, those are my psychological levels. So the next thing I do is I actually look out for trend lines. When you go to the daily, I'll connect a long trend line. You have a long trend line here, connect this one to this. So yeah, so it's just on standby to let me know that okay, in the future you can come to this zone and tap and go. So yeah, so the next one is I'll look out for, so this side there's a trend line here, but because I'm on the daily time frame, so I can't see it clearly. So if you look at this one too clearly, you could see that there was a touch here. There's some neat touch here. So after the touch on the trend line, then the price 1,700. Do you get me? Then boom, could have got after this indecision candle, could have got a nice beautiful buys. You get me? So I actually look out for the last candle. So this is the last candle before a big movement. So this is the last candle before the big movement. So and that big movement should break out a structure. That's what I call it a demand zone. So yeah, so if you pay attention very well, you can see that price came back to the zone and touched here. So if you are probably an intraday or a short time, you could have made some amount of money, or but if probably you were a swing trader, you'd have maybe gone to break even or something like that. Yeah, break even or maybe taking a loss. Yeah, so this is what I look out for. So for example this, then let me find another example. Another example will be here, this zone, just right after this zone. So this zone, so the last candle causing a breakout. So you can see a clear breakout here. You get me? So after that, then we have what? So that's my demand. This is the supply zone and this is a demand zone. So you can see the same thing here, but I think when you go to the lower time frame, you'll be able to catch this move. But this one, you have price touching your psychological level and price touching the trend line. So the only thing you have to wait for probably candlestick confirmation. Do you get me? Yeah. So yeah. So you can see that the psychological level is actually working. You get me? You have a demand zone beneath this side. Just beneath this side. Just beneath. So if I zoom in clearly, you see a demand zone here. You can see a demand zone here. So those would have been your confirmation. So after this candle, probably you would have entered here, or maybe probably would have entered here. Or let me show you how to get a good trade on a smaller time frame. Okay, so let me take it to a good trade on the smaller time frame. Very, very good. So you'd have seen the same demand zone, and then you have what, a break of what, structure, a break of structure. So you have a demand. Let me know. So let me delete this one. So you have what, a clear demand, what, clear break of structure here. Price broke the structure. So if you look at here, it was this push that broke the structure. Then after that, you can put your So then after that you can put your this one on here. Then probably to be on the safer side, if you want to be an aggressive trader, you actually get hit most of the time. So probably on the safer side, you just put your stop loss here. Then you target the highs. You get me? Because it's a 4-hour trade. You actually need to. So my target will be around this zone here. Just this zone. So just based on the smaller time frame, we would have what made 6%, 6.5% on your entry. Do you get me? You would have made 6.5% on your entry, just based on like applying your bigger time frame and your smaller time frame. So here we didn't get any chart pattern over here. Yeah, just applying. So here the confluences were, so we had our psychological level. So these are confluences. So we had our psychological level, then 2 we had the trend line, so after the trend line we had our demand and demand zone. So we had our demand zone, then we had our candlestick. So on the 3 minutes chart. So the 4-hour help us to get what? Repeat the same thing on the 3 minutes chart. So 3 minutes chart. So if you can see, repeat same thing. On the 3 minutes chart. So this is what we did. So this is our confluence, and we had this on this 3. So this is a beautiful setup. If you had taken this trade, you would have made a good amount of money with what proper risk management. So 6% is amazing. 6%, making 6% on your account is amazing. It's like making an entire profit for the whole month. You get me? Yeah, people who make only 6% on their account. You get it? Yeah, so this is very beautiful. Yeah, making 6% on just one trade. And I think this one will last you for, let me say, so the entry was on Wednesday, then you would have taken your profit on Friday 12 p.m. Yeah, so that's nice. So yeah. So now let's go to the next trade. So next trade. Alright, so we have a break of structure here. Price broke this structure, or price broke this trend line. Do you get me? Price has already taken this trend line. Okay, because me, I actually like to take fresh demand zone. I don't like take. We had taken it, we would have taken a loss, a deep loss. Yes. Yep. But I could have used the same strategy again to see whether we'll get. Let me see whether we'll get. But this is not a trade that, honestly speaking, I will take. Yeah, this is not a trade, honestly speaking, I will take. So I was looking at this side instead. Yeah, because we had a break of structure here. Yeah, because we had a break of structure and a break of trend line. So double confirmation. Break of structure and a break of trend line. Then we'll look out for our demand zone. So here we don't have any psychological level, but we've already taken the psychological level out. So we have a demand zone here. I told you before the last candle before the massive move, and this broke the candle, this broke the structure, the wick. So when you go to the smaller time frame, I think you see it's much clearer on the 1 hour. Let me go to the 1 hour. You see much clearer. Yeah, you see that the structure was actually around this zone. So let me remove this demand zone. Okay, so if you drop down to, let's say, the 1 hour time frame, you actually can readjust your supply zone. Readjust your supply zone. So we had this over here. We had another structure too over here taken neatly. Then we had a push, first push here, second push here. So here is actually a structure. We had a structure here. You get me? So we had a structure here. So after here, your entry should be around this zone. Around this zone. So if I go to the 30 minutes, I might see that side clearly. So your entry should be around this zone. So on the safer side, you can wait for a candlestick confirmation, because I don't actually like to just use a zone blindly. I want to see some rejection before. And then you target your 1:3 or 1:something something. This will be, let me see, let me use the structures. Yeah, so we had a structure here. We had a clean structure here. So if I use beneath here, we had a clean structure here. Alright. So you can see the way I'm blending the time frames. There's higher time frames equal to the smaller time frame and all those things. I'm just blending it. Do you get me? Yep. So break of structure, candlestick confirmation, 9:30 Friday, then boom, 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 boom. So by 3 o'clock, then you're out. You've already taken your TP. Yeah. So I think that's all for this video. Alright, thank you. Goodness.